Overnight, it ramps back up again by tomorrow morning. We're talking 60, 70, even 80-mile-per-hour winds once again in our foothills, 100 miles per hour. That is the same strength as a Category 2 hurricane, as an EF1 tornado. Now, unfortunately, as things get a little bit colder, that's when things are going to start sticking. Initially, we're getting a lot of melting. We are not done with the wind just yet. Going to be ramping up again for tomorrow. We'll talk about the timing, the impacts, and the high fire danger coming up. Massive record-breaking heat dome in place in the desert Southwest, and that is going to be sending all of that hot air up into Colorado. This is a very Colorado thing to do. 48-degree temperature drop in just 36 hours. High wind warning in place for today. This is mainly for our Front Range foothills, but it does include Fort Collins and then into northeastern Colorado all the way to Sterling as well. So some of these gusts could hit 80 to 100 miles per hour. That is the same strength as a Category 2 hurricane, as an EF1 tornado. So we're not just talking about high fire danger. These winds could do some damage on their own today. Already ramping up a bit in the foothills. We're going to see this really extend to the rest of the metro area as the day goes on by later this morning, and then especially as we get into the afternoon. So high fire danger, of course, in place. Big headline today that we don't want to do anything that would start a flame, because it would spread very quickly in conditions like this. So good looking morning. Otherwise, camera kind of shaking up at Lookout Mountain. Backus and Janker camera there hanging out in the upper 30s and low 40s. And then we've got low 70s coming in for the next few days. Changes for the weekend, including some snow on Sunday. We'll talk more about it in just a few. Here's the deal. Snow has arrived. It's going to be off and on throughout the day today. Metro about 3 to 5 inches. But keep in mind, there's going to be some melting. We're already seeing that this morning. And then up in our high country, some pretty difficult travel at times. Oh, our city has disappeared. Visibility just dropped. Backus and Janker camera right now. We're hovering just above freezing, which is why we're seeing that rain and snow mix there. Temperatures will drop as the day goes on, though. We'll talk a little bit more about that and the impacts to our high country in just a few. 1 to 3 feet of snow expected here all week long. We already saw a foot, could pick up another 1 or 2, which would help make a pretty big dent here. Looking at radar right now, still light snow falling up in your high country, cloud cover hanging out. Backus and Janker camera right now in the mid to low 40s. That visibility looking good. That wind about 18 miles per hour. So low 30s in Fort Collins and Greeley, 42 here in Denver, with some 20s and 30s through your high country. The wind is bumping up a bit, and it will down over the divide. We'll see it get even stronger by later on tonight. Temperatures today, though, pretty mild in the mid 50s. Your last mild day for a few days. 57 in Greeley and Akron, with 30s up through your high country. So the wind will bump up as the day goes on. We've got a cold front dropping in later on tonight, and that's really going to have a pretty significant impact on our Front Range foothills. The wind there bumping up to maybe as high as 75 miles per hour. So a high wind watch in place overnight. Those gusts again to 75 miles per hour, making for damaging wind. You know, that could impact trees. If you've got a fence, that could be vulnerable, and difficult travel as well. Taking a look at Futurecast tonight, when that cold front comes through, the snow is going to ramp up in our mountains. There could be some snow squalls. We're going to see more accumulating snow through the overnight. A little bit coming on down to the metro area. Thursday brings a lull, and then it ramps back up again for Friday. Another system coming in a little bit more from the south and west this time, and also expected to bring some light snow to the metro area. It's not going to be much. Next 24 hours, we're going to add a few more inches, and then going into Friday, by Saturday morning, we could be talking between now and Saturday, another foot of snow in Telluride, Aspen, and Steamboat. Metro area, we'll be lucky if we get an inch. So we'll keep watching it for you. But big cool down coming from 50s to 40s, waking up to teens on Friday, highs in the 30s with 40s by Saturday and Sunday. Got a look at those winter weather advisories. This has us in place until 6 p.m. here in the immediate heart of the Denver metro. I think the bigger impact is going to be through the morning, with some really lingering light flakes as we go into the afternoon. But down south, it lasts a little bit longer. I just heard from some people, you know, in southern Colorado saying, oh, we're not getting anything yet. You're not going to for just a bit. The storm is going to move from north to south, dropping down into more southern Colorado as the day goes on. But right now you can see it's really focusing in on the Front Range here in the metro. That darker shade of blue indicates some of that heavier snowfall. Same thing when we're looking up toward Fort Collins. So look for this to, again, clear in Fort Collins and Greeley first. That's why your snow totals were a little bit lighter. Here in the metro area, here's a look at noon. I do think that we're going to see it really lighten up by late morning and then into the afternoon, lingering into later on today. And then we'll see it drop down into southern Colorado as we get into later on this afternoon and this evening. So this is on top of what we already have. I woke up to a few inches already at my house. We're going to add maybe another 1 to 3 on top of that in the metro metro area, maybe another 4 or 5 when we're looking at the Palmer Divide and then into the foothills. By the time you're picking the kids up from school, we could be talking between 6 and 8 inches of snow. So we'll be watching that. Backus and Schenker camera, upper 20s right now. That visibility is low, no surprise there. And the temperatures right now, I was trying to think on my way in how to describe like this type of snow, because it's not the super cold, light, fluffy, really easy to shovel, but it's not quite like a March or April snow, kind of right in the middle. So a little bit on the warmer side, but nothing that's too crazy. It's definitely cold enough that we're just talking snow here. 32 degrees in Fort Collins, 33 in Greeley, some 20s and 30s through your high country. Next couple of days, I do want to point out in particular, tomorrow morning, we could get a little bit of refreezing that happens because it is going to be very, very chilly. So bridges, overpasses, make sure you're watching those. Then we're in the upper 30s by Thursday and Friday, bringing back that sunshine. We've got 40s by the weekend. So Drew, probably the snow gone. What do you think? 48 hours by Saturday?
Yeah, that's Colorado for you, and it's good. We need that.
Here in the metro area, it's still gusty, but it's not damaging wind. It's more of that nuisance wind, and it will settle a bit throughout the day. But we do have that high wind warning in place until 11 a.m. for our foothills and then out over the eastern plains as well. Now, tomorrow, we have a high wind watch back into effect. I expect a warning here as we go throughout the next 24 hours because we've got round 2 on the way. But before we get there, high fire danger in place today. The focus this morning will be out over the foothills, and then the focus through the rest of the day is going to be out over the plains, where I know we had multiple fires burning in the overnight hours. And unfortunately, the wind is going to be with us, topping 45 miles per hour all day today. We will see it slowly settle here in the metro area. You can see a big improvement by later on this afternoon.